Hi, I'm Kenzie. Welcome back to my podcast. If you are just joining, welcome. Today we will be talking about my 21st Blues Clues VHS, Classic Clues. This VHS includes Blues School and Something to Do Blue. First, let's talk about Blues School. This episode starts out with Steve explaining that everyone was playing school, and Blue was the teacher. We decide to play school too. We get on the bus and buckle our seatbelts. We sing the bus song as we pick up Tickety Talk. She sat behind Steve. We arrive at Blues School. Periwinkle was there too. After getting off the bus, we took our seats. Our first time was weather time. Our job was to check the weather and figure out what the weather is. At first it was sunny. Then it got cloudy. After weather time, we looked at the schedule to see what all there was to do in school. We just had weather time. Then we would have story time, art time, snack time, ABC time, mail time, bus time, and song time. Then Steve noticed the bus. He loves the bus. He wondered where we were all going on the bus. He asked that question to Teacher Blue. That's when Teacher Blue wanted to play Blues Clues. But first Steve had to clean up the paw print. He used an eraser. And so the game Blues Clues has begun. Then it was story time. It was Steve's turn to pick out a story. Of course, he picked a story called I'm a Yellow School Bus. This story was about a bus who takes the kids to school, which makes it feel proud. After Steve went to put the book away, the viewer spotted the first clue, which is a circle. After the first clue was found, it was art time. Everyone was painting. Steve decided to paint a Steve portrait. Then he just had to paint his shirt his favorite color, green. The problem was he didn't have green paint. That's when the viewer decided we can mix the colors. Of course, yellow and blue make green. And so Steve painted his shirt in his self-portrait. Then Tickety had a problem. She didn't have any pink paint for her self-portrait. The viewer decided again we can mix the colors like we mixed yellow and blue to make green. Of course, red and white make pink. And so Tickety painted her self-portrait. She was very proud of herself. After art time was over, it was snack time. Mr. Salt made buses made from crackers and cheese. Then the viewer spotted the second clue, which is cheese. No, not on the cheese bus, on the cheese. After the second clue was found, it's mail time. Change of schedule, I guess. Oh well. In the letter, our friend at school showed the inside of her classroom. She showed where they play with blocks, where they read books, and where they paint, which was her favorite thing to do. After saying goodbye, it was ABC time. Everyone decided to play Letter Detectives. The way that's played is that Blue would pull a letter out of the bag, and we would find something that starts with that letter. Blue pulled out a G. G is for guitar. Tickety pulled out an A. A is for acorn. Periwinkle pulled out an S. S is for Steve. Good to know. After ABC time, it was bus time. As everyone was getting the bus ready, the viewer spotted this third clue, which is tomato sauce. That's when Steve realized we had all three clues and it was time to sit in the thinking chair. It was time to think. We were trying to figure out where we're going to go on the bus today. And our clues were a circle, cheese, and tomato sauce. Steve thought the cheese and the tomato sauce are things to eat, and it's shaped like a circle. The viewer guessed correctly that we're going out for pizza on the bus. At that point, Steve realized we just figured out Blues Clues. After the celebratory song, everyone got on the bus, buckled up, sang the bus song, and have arrived at the pizza parlor. Steve ordered one circle-shaped pizza with tomato sauce and cheese on top. The chef made it and put it in the oven. After a fun day at Blues School, it was song time. It was time to say so long, but sing just one more song. Now let's talk about the episode as a whole. I feel like kids can learn a lot if they want to learn about playing school. School is cool. That's all I have to say. All in all, it's a good episode. Now let's talk about Something to Do Blue. This episode starts out with Blue figuring out something to do, but she was having a little trouble. Mr. Salt and Mrs. Pepper enter the scene to help. They pulled out a recipe called the Something to Do Stew. How that works is you find three things, stir in some imagination, and create something new to do with them. So Steve and Blue find some paint, a sponge, and paper. The viewer said that we could do some sponge painting. It's just like finger painting, without the mess. Mr. Salt and Mrs. Pepper thought the painting was magnificent, and went to hang it on the refrigerator. Then it was Blue's turn. All she had to do was find three things. That's when she wanted to play Blues Clues, but first Steve had to clean up the paw print. He used a sponge to clean it up. Then he went to get his handy-dandy notebook and a sock. The sock was for his imagination. With the notebook and the sock, he created a notebook nightcap. Then he created a notebook holder. And so the game Blue's Clues has begun. The viewer spotted the first clue, which is books. After the first clue was found, Steve made a sock puppet with the sock and his hand. Then Periwinkle was seen out the window. He had a magic trick to show us. With his 2 magic squares and his magic marker, he can make all kinds of pictures. He made a truck, a kite, and even a robot. After Periwinkle disappeared, the viewer spotted the second clue, which is a lunchbox. After the second clue was found, it's mail time. Steve made Mailbox into an elephant with the sock as the trunk. In the letter, our friends were making friends with their googly eyes. After saying goodbye, Steve and Blue scooted into an imaginative place. 2 kids named Hum and Drum didn't know what to do. Hum had a hula hoop and Drum had a ball. That's when Steve and Blue thought we could use our imagination and create something new. The viewer thought we could play basketball. Steve thought we could play planets. Blue made Saturn. Then we see 2 more kids who didn't know what to do. One girl didn't want to play superhero. One boy didn't want to have a snack at the snack table. That's when Steve and Blue thought we could use our imagination again to create something new. The viewer thought we could play fort by using the girl's superhero cape over the snack table. Steve thought we could play house and Blue could be the baby. After helping, the viewer spotted the third clue, which is a chalkboard. That's when Steve realized we had all 3 clues and it was time to sit in the thinking chair. It was time to think. Blue was trying to figure out what she wants to do, and our clues were books, a lunchbox, and a chalkboard. Now we just had to add some imagination. Steve thought maybe it's a place. The viewer guessed correctly that Blue wants to play school, because in school you can read books, eat lunch from a lunchbox, and draw on a chalkboard. At that point, Blue realized we just figured out Blue's clues. After the celebratory song, Blue set up to play school. Periwinkle, Hum, and Drum come to play too. Blue drew Saturn, or maybe it was basketball, or even a magic trick. After a fun day, it was time to say so long, but sing just one more song. Now let's talk about the episode as a whole. This was an interesting episode because Blue didn't even know what the answer to Blue's Clues would be. That's a first. Still, I feel like kids can learn a lot if they want to learn about imagination. I love to use my imagination. For example, finding shapes in the clouds is a great way to use your imagination. All in all, it's a good episode. So yeah, that's Classic Clues. If you would like to play again, just go back to the beginning of this episode. And remember, you can do anything that you want to do. Bye!